That's what our boss at work said. He said, what happened to your head? And I said, I got a haircut. And he said, when are you going to finish it?
He's not wrong.
What are we talking? Are we talking about dragons today?
Yeah, we're talking
We're
about
talking
dragons
about How to
today.
Train Your Dragon 3.
3.
Right? The third one. Hidden World. That's the name of it.
Hidden Temple.
So let's get this train moving so we don't start dragging it around.
How...
3.
Do you know what the worst part of this is?
The joke?
No. The fact... I know you spent time on this.
I should do time for it.
Oh, man.
Got him. All right, you ready?
Let's do it.
So it starts with Hiccup and Company, and they are... You've seen the first 2.
I've seen the first 2.
Should we summarize those briefly?
Okay, so the first one, How to Train Your Dragon, Part Uno, is... Help me out with the character name.
Hiccup.
Hiccup?
Hiccup.
That's right. Hiccup...
Should you be explaining this? You don't even remember the protagonist's name.
At first I thought Hiccup was the dragon. Alright, here we go.
Be a stupid name for a dragon.
You're right. You're right. Let's get to the better name for the dragon. Hiccup discovers Toothless, a dragon. So Hiccup is the son of I believe they're Nordic? I think they're Nordic.
They're Scottish, right? They speak with Scottish accents, but they're
Vikings.
They look like Vikings.
Yeah.
Could they... But there are no Scottish Vikings.
So Hiccup is the son of a Nordic Viking leader. And they all hate dragons. They want to kill all of the dragons. Hiccup discovers Toothless, a young dragon, and befriends Toothless.
To be fair, I don't think they ever say his age. The dragon.
Oh, and look! He's your age!
Hiccup discovers Toothless.
Old man Toothless. That's why he has no teeth.
A dragon, a young dragon. And then, through the magic of cinema, they teach the world, really, how to love again and how to appreciate everyone and all dragon kind. That's pretty much the entire plot. I don't remember the individual plot points, but that's the gist of it, let's be honest.
Yeah. He shows the town, he shows the village that dragons are
not as evil as they believe that they are.
And just like Martin Luther King Jr., he convinces them that they can live in harmony and not be super racist against dragons.
Send your tweets. Care of Andrew Dunn. So How to Train Your Dragon Part 2 picks up with Hiccup and Toothless and the entire Viking village. I've now kind of adopted this philosophy and this way of life, incorporating dragons into their everyday world, right? And then there is this villain that comes in and wants to...
The character's name is Drago, and he is played by a man whose first name is Digimon. He's a grown man, and his name is Digimon. He's gonna name his son Pokemon? Digimon!
Send your tweets. Care of. Anyway, so Hiccup and Toothless have to fight this villain who is trying to kill all of the dragons.
He just wants to own them.
He wants to control them. That's right. He wants to control all of the dragons and enslave all of the dragons under his command. This is the movie that Hiccup and Toothless find that Hiccup's mother, who was believed in the first movie to be killed by dragons, thus creating such a deep hatred for dragons in the first movie, is actually alive and has been living amongst the dragons for many, many years.
You'd think that it would only create a disdain within their family. Like, there's probably a lot of people who didn't like Hiccup's mom, who was like, dragons are great.
Night Fury! Get down!
This thing never steals food, never shows itself, and never...
She's a bitch.
Yeah, what a fucking asshole. I'm glad she's dead.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't like her before, and I like her less now that she's dead. There, I said it. Taking a firm stand on a dead person. So then, Toothless and Hiccup gather together all of the dragons and all of the Vikings and go to fight Drago. I almost called him Digimon. That's his real name. Go to fight Drago. And then this is where Hiccup's father dies.
Right,
he?
because the Alpha, which Drago controls, changes the minds of dragons to follow the Alpha.
Yes.
So Toothless sees the Alpha and is instantly under its power, but Drago controls the Alpha, and he tells the Alpha to tell... I'm going to level with you. This isn't the best one. But he tells the Alpha to tell Toothless to kill Hiccup, but his dad shoves him out of the way.
And Toothless kills
the dad,
the
right?
dad.
Yeah,
That's
he
right.
gets hit.
Yes. So the
very
dad
sad.
dies. Yes.
He gains a mother, and he loses a father.
Right.
Not Savigny, circle of life.
So Hiccup's father dies. They defeat Drago. Peace is brought to the galaxy. And then Hiccup is now technically in charge of
Right.
the
Well, yeah, because
Viking
at
tribe.
the beginning of the movie, his dad tells him he's making him the second in command.
That's right. So Hiccup, at the end of the movie, now that the father is dead, is now in command of the entire Viking village. And Hiccup, as we've established through the two movies, is a guy who uses his brain rather than his brawn. And so the idea is going forward, they're going to use dragon, and I guess the best term is dragon technology, to innovate the entire Viking way of life.
Dragon-inspired mechanics.
Yes, yeah.
Also,
Steam dragon technology.
Important note. Hiccup is an amputee. He's missing a leg.
Yes.
Which is an important thing that happens throughout all three movies.
Yes, one of the reasons that he was never viewed through the two movies as being kind of a full Viking or the manliest guy around, even though his father was the leader of the Vikings, was that he was...
Incorrect.
No?
No. In fact, he loses his leg in like the last 5 minutes of the first movie.
But isn't he... Oh, yeah. I haven't seen the first one in a very long time. I've seen the second one.
It's definitely the best one. Fun fact,
A few times.
I may have watched these movies again today when I was supposed to be working. Hi, bosses.
So How to Train Your Dragon 3, and you have seen it already.
I have.
I have not.
So, yeah.
So please.
I think I'm allowed to say this at this point. I was able to see it for work, a very early, rough rendition. But we weren't allowed to say anything, but now that the movie's out, I think that sanction has been lifted, that NDA, and I think I can speak freely. If
Go for
not, call a fucking cop.
Do it!
So this movie picks up right where we leave off with the last one. Hiccup is running the place. He's got the show on the road. He's bringing he and his buddies all over the place. They're saving dragons all over the world. And, the whole crew is there. They're voice acted by Jay Baruch Baruka Tadonai Alachenu Melachacholam. And we've got Kristen Wiig.
Shalom.
And we've got a guy who sounds a lot like T.J. Miller, but it's not him because they replaced him after he went crazy.
Yeah.
And then we meet Grimmel, and he's an asshole. He's played by a great actor by the name of F. Murray Abraham, and he and his Dracula accent are the greatest dragon killers in the entire world.
So when we pick up from How to Train Your Dragon 2, where do we find ourselves in this world? How much progress has gone on? What between 2 and 3?
Yes.
What kind of innovations has Hiccup?
Well, you see in the previous movie, in the second one, he's working on his little gliding device, like a flying squirrel.
Yes.
He's perfected that, and he has some better armor now. Like there's definitely improvements that have been made, and you can tell the time has passed because they all have 17-year-old facial hair.
I did notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like little mustaches. One of them.
Does Hiccup have a beard at some point in this movie?
We're getting to that.
Okay. He earns his beard.
He looks like Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
So Tuffnut has long hair that he's grown out, and since he can't grow a beard, he ties it in a little knot and just references his thick, full beard every 20 minutes in the movie. You could almost set your watch to it.
Interesting side note, Tuffnut was my nickname in college.
Why?
I can't talk about it without a doctor's release. Anyway, continue. What were you saying?
You just say the word nut and release in the same sentence.
I usually do.
So Grimmel who's played by F. Murray Abraham.
Off to a great start.
He's dedicated to killing all of the dragons in the world, and his biggest grudge is against Night Furies, which is never explained, but it's okay, just don't ask about it. So we find out that he has a female Night Fury that he keeps for bait, although if he thinks all the Night Furies are dead, because he says that he thinks that all the Night Furies are dead, and he's like, there's one more. Someone tells him they found Toothless, and he's like, what? I thought I killed all of them. And then he's like, that's okay. I'll use this bait, this female Night Fury that I used to catch all the Night Furies as bait. Why would he keep it around if he's trying to kill all of them?
He's like, I killed all the Night Furies. And then they're like, there's one more. And then he's like, I'll get this other Night Fury to kill this Night Fury.
Well, just,
like,
yeah.
But wait. But then you didn't kill all of them, did you?
Right. And yeah, that one... That's sort of my point. Why didn't he kill the bait?
Yeah, it's true. If he thought he killed all the Night Furies, then wouldn't he have gone, well, I don't need this bait anymore. I'll just kill it.
So anyway, he has the bait seduce Toothless by doing that freaky, freaky shit that he loves so much. Putting on those freaky moves.
So the Night Fury puts on like a little Barry White and like...
They do a little dance.
Brings a little Crown Royale over and... that type of thing. It's a weird scene in the movie where Hiccup and this Night Fury just drink Crown Royale on a circular spinning bed with just a disco ball.
Right. Well, it's the weirder part is that I'm learning your moves. The team has their first.
Yes.
The team has their first encounter with Grimmel, and he uses a Tranquilizer Crossbow, which is a really interesting thing to use when you're trying to kill all the dragons.
Or get a first date.
Oh my god. Are we going to introduce Brett Kavanaugh jokes into this?
Yeah.
So, why would you use a tranquilizer dart if your plan is to kill all the dragons? Wouldn't you just use, like, a gun? I mean, they probably didn't have a gun back then, but, you know, just a... Well, because he's using tranquilizer crossbow. Wouldn't you just use a regular crossbow?
Yeah, just use a regular crossbow. It pretty much is the same thing. What is a tranquilizer crossbow?
You know what a tranquilizer dart is?
Yeah.
You know what a crossbow is?
So they just put a little dart in a regular sized crossbow?
I mean, it's a big dart.
So it's an arrow? Isn't that what an arrow is? It's just a big dart?
Yeah, but it's got a little bit of tranquilizer juice in it. Here's the other thing. Do you remember when that, I almost called it Coco the Ape. That's not who it was.
Hiccup the Dragon.
No, the, Harambe. You remember when Harambe happened, and a lot of people were like, why didn't they just tranquilize this... Is it insensitive to call it a monkey? I don't think it was a monkey. I'm going to get my monkey races right.
Ape?
Is that what Harambe was?
Listen, all I know is if you call them a monkey and they're really an ape, then they storm the Golden Gate Bridge and they kill James Franco. Okay? So, just watch it.
What a bad reference. So, I remember learning that people were like, why don't you just tranquilize Harambe? And people were like, well... You can't because you have to know the exact weight of the thing, and then we'd have to have tranquilizers, like individual tranquilizers for every single animal in the zoo, which we just don't have the money or the funding for, even though money and funding mean the same thing. So how would you be able to have a tranquilizer dart for any dragon? The science just doesn't check out, that's all I'm saying. Anyway.
Who's Harambe? Anyway, go on.
What the fuck was I talking about? How to Train Your Dragon 3.
Yep.
So Grimmel... with the tranquilizer crossbow.
Yes.
He sneaks into Hiccup's house, and Hiccup's like, oh no, who are you? And Toothless is sleeping over in the corner. He's got a little blankie over him. And out of nowhere, Grimmel shoots the blankie with the tranquilizer dart, and you're like, oh no, Toothless. But then it turns out it's all been a crazy swindle. The joke's on Grimmel.
What?
I know. They ambushed him because they knew he was going to get me there. Well, that's very smart.
The old 1-2 bait and switch.
And here's the thing.
The old...
Master bait and switch. You don't masturbate with a switch?
Sometimes too.
So here's the thing. It wasn't Toothless who was under that little blankie. It was his friend, Fish Legs, played by Jonah Hill. But a tranquilizer made for a dragon would definitely kill
a human.
A 16-year-old man-child,
Yep.
right? Like, he's definitely dead.
Yeah. There's no way he survives that. What is dragon blood made of, though? Do we know? I mean, maybe...
Do they have blood?
Do they have...
Do we see them bleed in the movies?
No. Do we? They bleed? Oh, alright. Well, what the fuck do I know?
And scene. Grimmel bails, and he leaves.
I would.
I know. He leaves on a ship that is being propelled upward by 4 acid-spewing dragons. And instantly, all at once, every executive at Hasbro jizzed in their pants when they heard that pitch.
I gotta say, a ship sailing upward into the sky drawn by 4 acid-spewing dragons sounds like the best heavy metal album cover ever!
Say.
Why have they never done this album cover?
I was going to say that's a
It'd
great
be
name
amazing.
for a band. 4 acid-spewing dragons.
Oh, man.
And then you only have, or maybe you have 5 people in the band, so one of them's just a guy.
Just a guy. He's the guy on the ship.
Yeah, that makes sense. He is the ship!
He's the ship! We got a lot done here today. Are we done?
No.
Okay, good.
This movie's we're about 10 minutes into the movie. So then Hiccup convinces everyone, all right, this guy knows where we live. He's super dangerous.
Yes.
We got to get out of here.
Yes.
As he convinces them, we're going to pack up our stuff, we're going to find a new home. And Hiccup remembers that a long time ago, his dad constantly talked about this place called the Hidden World. That's the name of the movie!
That he had never once spoke about before in any of the other movies.
No, he hasn't. But he's in flashbacks.
But I just remember this key piece of information that I got pounded with my entire childhood that I have never mentioned before
and it was
2 other movies.
Evidently it was his dad's main goal that he never got to do was find this hidden kingdom, this hidden world full of dragons.
Well, isn't that convenient?
I know. It's weird that he never said it in the other 2 movies, right?
Huh.
I know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
When they were searching, in the first movie, when his dad was like, let's kill all the dragons, his dad was never like, you know where I bet there'll be a ton of dragons? Well, there'll be a shitload of dragons where dragons will definitely flock to because everyone in the world hates dragons and is trying to kill them, so it will probably be a safe haven for dragons.
Where's that?
The Hidden World.
Oh, that makes sense.
Because you know why?
Why?
It's hidden.
That's a good call. You all right?
I need to lie down in a second. Keep going.
All right. In the meantime, Toothless is acting like a horny little teenager.
And I'm back.
You heard horny?
Yeah.
Hiccup tells him he can leave whenever he sees the she-fury, which, by the way, is also, incidentally, how I refer to my ex-wife.
Zing!
Got him.
Shut it, Brenda.
Hiccup and Astrid, who is Hiccup's fucking lady friend, they...
Wait, can we go... Wait, is she his lady friend or is she his fucking lady friend?
Not his lady fucking friend.
Yeah.
I mean, well, it's hard to say because they're not married, and in fact, they talk about how they're not going to get married in this movie. It's a whole side plot that doesn't really need discussing. But I just realized I don't think we've talked about her, so I should describe her. I should describe her in some way.
I guess.
Two.
Well, you said she's a lady, right?
Mm-hmm. And she's a friend. It's
pretty accurate.
She's his fucking lady friend.
It's pretty accurate.
So they fly off on a dragon. Did I say he lets them? I don't think I actually made it through the horny teenager part, did I? That he tells Toothless that he can run off and be with this light fury, with the she-fury. That they can go off and he doesn't need to stay with him anymore. And he's gonna, if you love something, you gotta let it go. And so he's gonna let Toothless live his life.
Aww.
I know, it's very kind and sad. So the dragon flies away to be with the other dragon, the lady dragon. And then Hiccup and his fucking lady friend, Astrid, they decide to go off looking for the Hidden World. That's the name of the movie!
Ah!
And they find it. It's right around the corner, evidently.
Wow, that's convenient.
Yeah, I know. It's this giant circular waterfall, and as soon as they get there, the dragon they're riding on just beelines down, just as a nosedive into this little world.
Wait, the Hidden World is just a circular waterfall in the middle of the ocean?
Yes.
It's not very hidden, is it?
It's in the middle of the ocean.
Right, but you would have thought... Okay, but here's the thing. Vikings are a seaworthy group. They tend to sail.
I don't think they're Vikings, Chris. They're Scottish.
They have horns on their helmets. They're Vikings.
I think they're just, Scottish pagans. It's Craig Ferguson and Gerard Butler.
Most people would leave. Not us. We're Vikings. We have stubbornness issues. We're Vikings. It's an occupational hazard.
Oh, and it's ugly. Dragons and Vikings. Enemies again. Locked in combat to the bitter. Oh!
Okay, great. Anyway.
I don't know what just happened.
I don't know either, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. I just like that. So my point is this. There's a giant hole in the middle of the ocean. At some point, somebody would have discovered this, and word probably would have gotten. I know that it's back in yonder times, and news traveled slower, but somebody would have told somebody else, who would have gotten it to somebody else, that there's literally a giant hole in the ocean.
Right, well, it did. That's the thing.
Steer clear.
They knew, though, because the dad knew about it, right? He had always known that this thing existed, but he didn't know where it was. Well, that's the thing.
It's probably in the giant hole in the middle of the ocean.
No, it's a giant waterfall. So any boats going towards it are just going to immediately fall off. You can't just turn a boat around.
Your logic holds up.
Thank you.
Yep.
Boats don't turn. Everyone knows that. Little nautical lesson for you. What the fuck was I talking about?
I have no clue.
So they go in there. They make it to the hidden world. They go in there. And who's in there? Who's leading all the dragons?
Who?
Do you know?
I don't know.
It's Toothless.
What?
And his Lady Fury.
And his fucking Lady Fury.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I'm getting this idea. Wow.
I know.
Who would have thunk it?
And it's a good thing too, because they get chased out. It turns out all the dragons are racist too. And they're racist against people, just like the people were racist against them back in the day. So they go all Malcolm X on them, and they just start chasing them out. And they're like, fuck you, get out of here. Toothless saves them at the last second, and he flies them away. And he's like super, like, just happy that they're safe, but also a little disappointed. Like, come on, you said I could live my life. Why are you doing this shit? And then he's like, you know, my fucking Lady Fury is, you know, she's going to be so upset with me because she thinks I'm this cool person, but she knows now that I'm friends with people, and it's going to be super awkward, and you're making it super weird for me.
Why do you have to do this in front of my friends?
Right.
Every time we go out.
Every time. So, but it turns out she's fine with it. She's there, she sees it, and she's like, oh, it's okay. And then Grimmel, kablamo! He shows up, and he takes them both. He fucking tranks them with his crossbow. It would have been a good time to just, like, spew acid out all over him and kill everyone there, but he doesn't do it.
He doesn't.
He tranquilizes them.
Does he bring the whole boat with all four dragons?
Because he's in it for the hunt. And not to kill them, even though he said he was.
What?
I don't know. He's tranking them.
He's just tranking them?
And netting them.
So that he could kill them.
And then he's going to take them.
Is he going to make a giant dragon rug? Maybe he's going to make a dragon skin coat?
Yeah, maybe you got to kill it a certain way.
Maybe you got to...
So you don't hurt the skin.
Or so it's kosher?
Is F. Murray... I think F. Murray Abraham is Jewish.
Oh, yeah. Oh, are you kidding me? That can't be a real comment.
His name is
His middle
Abraham.
name is Murray, and his last name is Abraham.
And his first name is probably so unpronounceable that he had to go by F.
Yeah.
It's probably Frank.
Is he Jewish? What a stupid question. Yes.
He flies him off to some other area, but that's okay, because remember, Hiccup can do the fly thing?
Where he flies?
Yeah.
Oh,
he
okay,
teaches everyone else to do the fly thing, too, and they all fucking fly there. So now the big battle ensues.
Wait, he taught all the other dragons to fly?
Just the crew.
Oh, Hiccup! I'm mixing Hiccup and Toothless up. I'm sorry.
God's sakes. No, Hiccup teaches the human
humans
people
to do the flying thing.
Jonah Hill, Kristen Wiig,
Craig Ferguson.
Not him. He's too fat.
Okay. Emma
America Ferrara.
Thompson.
And someone who doesn't sound at all like TJ Miller because they replaced him with someone who they thought did, but he doesn't really.
Cool. And they all do the flying thing.
They all do the flying thing with the wings.
With the wings.
And they make it there.
Yes.
And then Hiccup is hanging off a ledge. He's hanging off of a dragon.
As you do.
And Grimmel, F. Murray Abraham, is hanging on by his fucking prosthetic leg.
What?
And he unbuckles his own leg so that Grimmel falls to his death. And much like, in a way, it's like Die Hard if John McClane was on a mission to save Heather Mills. You remember when he unhooks the watch?
Yeah.
You know who Heather Mills is?
The wife?
Of?
I have no idea.
This joke is going to be lost on every single person who watches this video. Heather Mills was a model who was, I think, married to Paul McCartney, and she had a prosthetic
Oh,
leg.
yeah!
It was like Die Hard, but if he was trying to save Heather Mills.
It's like that rock movie.
I thought that as well. It's like, the punchline to that joke was almost, and maybe we'll cut it in here, it's like if you mixed Skyscraper with Die Hard. The end of Die Hard. Anyway, and then Hiccup has his own family, and
Hiccup has a kid?
Well, he has fucking lady friend, and then she becomes his lady fucking friend, and then Toothless runs off with the female Fury, the lady, the light female.
The Light Hawk, the Night Hawk, the Night Lady.
The Hawkeye. It's Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
Toothless and Jeremy Renner run off, and they have a whole little family of little
adorable.
hawk dragons.
And they live in a little farmhouse.
And
they chop wood and outside.
Yeah, but 3 of them died in the
snap.
snapping.
John Deere tractor.
None of those jokes worked. No. So anyway, then we fast forward, and you can tell it's fast forward because Hiccup has
a beard! Of course! Oh my god.
Oh, also he has like 3 children or
Is
something.
this where they play the Ed Sheeran song? Any of them?
Could be.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Alright.
And then, yeah, it turns out that they're both very happy, and that's why there are no dragons anymore. I don't know how, but he says that at the end. That's why there aren't... That story is the reason there aren't any dragons left.
Because they all went into the hole in the ocean?
Why would they, though?
And then they put a giant cork in the hole.
It's not a butt plug.
Wait, hold on a second. Let me just... Okay.
This is the loudest beard scratch.
It's a pretty loud beard. So, the end of this movie, the end of this saga, this trilogy, is that they are now saying that these 3 movies actually take place in our reality, just back yonder times, that dragons really existed, and the reason that they don't exist anymore is because there is a giant hole in the middle of the ocean. So they're perpetuating that in our reality, there is a giant hole in the middle of the ocean that we have just somehow not noticed. Even though we have satellites and Google Earth and, boats that now turn and iPhones and cameras.
Yes.
I buy that.
And that's the movie. Chris, what did you think?
Oh my gosh. It was so good. It's probably...
Do you feel like you saw it?
I feel like I saw it
description
many times over.
Too many?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I definitely feel like I should go see it again, possibly on a giant screen or a smaller screen.
From the people who were meant to tell the story?
Yes. From the people who did the story in its actuality.
Yeah, no, I get that.
But this was a good primer, and I gained an appreciation for dragons. I gained an appreciation for lady friends. I gained an appreciation for F. Murray Abraham.
Right. Who may or may not be Jewish.
Who may or may not be Jewish, but he's definitely Jewish. Those are all the things that I gained an appreciation for.
So I would say the movie is pretty good. It's not great.
Okay.
I think the first one is definitely the best one. I think it's better than the second one. I didn't really... Like, I when you were going over the second one earlier, I was like, I don't remember a lot of this.
I may have made some of that up.
Yeah, well, no, just like you said it, and I was like, oh, yeah. But there's not a lot of, like... I mean, all the character development is in the first one.
Right.
There's not a lot of character development in the second one. There's not a lot of arcs happening. It's cool that in this one we see, like, the finishing part of the arc for all the characters, which is nice.
Right.
Some of the cons, some of the voice acting seems a little phoned in. Even, like, the big, like, Jay Baruchel is not great in it.
Probably phoning it in.
Yeah.
No, I mean literally. He probably just
on
called
his phone,
on
probably
his phone and phoned it in. He
Jonah-
probably left it on an answering machine.
Jonah Hill is good, and I only say that because I saw him once outside of a gym waiting for a car.
I've seen him before too.
No shit.
Yeah. And he was telling this story about this guy he saw one time outside of a gym.
You say anything good?
He was like, listen, I'm not gay, but if I was...
I gotta go make a call.
Yep.
Yeah, TJ Miller is not in this movie, and
That's for the best.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'm gonna level with you. I saw it with TJ Miller in it, so that's one thing. Because I saw the movie so long ago that he was in it.
Oh.
And then they replaced him.
Oh.
Because it's just voice acting and
right.
takes
You
no
can do
talent.
that.
Yeah. So it's when you hear him, the first time I heard him, it sounds like someone doing a T.J. Miller impression. And I was like, that's odd. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh, it's not him. And sometimes it doesn't sound anything like him. Like, it sounds like halfway through they were replacing it. They were like, just be yourself. Don't worry about it. And it's totally different.
Right.
But sometimes it's like, definitely a guy doing a T.J. Miller impression. And it's about as good as I just did then. What else? Cons. There's this one plot device that happens 2 different times, and it's okay if it happens once, but it's very, very old hat and overdone, where like the villain intentionally lets someone go and he follows them to find where it is.
Yeah.
But it happens in this movie 2 different times.
Right.
And I was like, if you're gonna do it once, that's fine. But like one,
also,
I'm losing respect for the heroes because you fall for it twice.
Yeah, really, if like you do that once and they follow you, you're like, oh, okay. But the next time he's like, I have you and now I'm going to let you go, wouldn't the guy go, hey, he's probably following me?
To be fair, the second time it happens, it's to the character who is the biggest idiot in the group.
Right.
So she wouldn't know, but just as a plot device.
But even when she gets back, wouldn't the other people around her go?
They do.
Oh.
They go, wait, he just let you go? And she's like, yeah, I don't know what's up. And they're like, oh God. And then it's a whole thing. But I just don't like that
it's a repetitive
twice.
thing.
Yeah, I'm like, I already know what's going to happen.
Figure something else out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's just lazy storytelling.
Yes.
Some of the pros. So I will say, the thing I liked the most about this, and I was predicting this and hoping it would be the case, I was hoping this would be a story that is somehow man versus self. Because the first movie is man versus nature.
Right.
It's humankind against dragons.
Right.
And trying to figure out if you can control nature, sway it in your favor.
Right.
The second one is man versus man.
Right.
It's humans against this Drago guy who is controlling dragons.
Right.
So this one, at first time when I first saw it, I was like, I kind of wish it had been about like a man versus self sort of thing, but it's really just about fighting more dragons, fighting some...
Kind of the same as the second one.
Yeah. There's just another guy. But the more I thought about it, the more I was like, actually, Melinda brought this up, that he was, Hiccup does fight with himself internally, trying to let go of the thing that he loves the most.
Yes.
So when you look at it from that angle, it really is like a man versus self type story, which is nice.
So you get this full, over the 3 movies, you do get kind of this full arc of these 2 characters.
Right, and all 3, those are the 3 storyline types that you learn about in like English 101 or whatever. And it's nice to see real arcs for the characters, which I think I talked about. F. Murray Abraham is fantastic. He's like the only one who 100% is a main character and does not phone it in. Like he's himself.
He tries the whole time.
He has this crazy Dracula, German, Russian accent thing that is unplaceable. Unplaceable? It doesn't matter. Unplaceable. But he's real good. And Jerry Butler is in it as well for like a minute. And it's very sentimental.
Oh,
it's very nice.
That's very sweet.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So,
yeah.
I
This
think
is
that's
definitely one I will be checking out.
You're going to watch this instead of Into the Spider-Verse?
I'm going to check them both. I can watch 2 movies.
All right, but you got to do it at the same time.
Yeah. What else would I do? I'm going to set up 2 television sets side by side. And I'm going to push play on 2 different Blu-ray players at the same time and play them simultaneously. And then I'm going to also turn up the volume as loud as all the controls can go on both sets.
Your family's going to love that.
Yeah, that's how I watch everything now. My child hasn't slept in months.
So anyway, thanks for watching this sweet video about How to Train Your Dragon 3. Check it out at your own discretion, because it's not the greatest movie in the world. There are probably better movies out right now.
He meant the movie, not this video. Check out this movie despite your discretion. Doesn't matter your discretion, just watch this video. The movie, check out at your own discretion.
What did I say?
You said check it out at your own discretion, but I
thought
think
I
you
said
left
the
the
movie.
modifier dangling.
All right. I don't like to dangle. So, yeah, check out definitely, I mean, they've already watched this video, I presume. I predict you haven't just skipped to the end. It's fine. The movie itself is mediocre. It's better than mediocre, but it's not worth rushing out to see. It's good. If you already liked the first 2 movies and want an end, definitely go see it. Like, if you want to see the resolution to the storyline, it's definitely worth it for that. F. Murray Abraham's performance is great. T.J. Miller is not in it because he will be in jail soon because he called in a bomb threat on a person just because he didn't like them. So there's that.
I mean, Who among us has not had that moment of weakness?
I actually just called in a bomb threat on TJ Miller the other day, so I sort of get where he's coming from. But overall, it's fine. It's a fine movie. I mean, if you got kids, you have a kid.
Shit, I do. I gotta go.
Where is he?
I don't know.
I'm not helping you this time. Anyway, we run a podcast called The Media Lunch Break. Check it out. We are on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play Music. You can visit us on Twitter, where our handle is Media Lunch Break. You can send us an email on Gmail. Our thing, what's our thing?
TheMediaLunchBreak@gmail.com.
We've got a website.
TheMediaLunchBreak.com.
And then we got a Patreon, which is patreon.com/TheMediaLunchBreak. And probably some other stuff.
iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play Music.
Yeah, I said 2 of those.
There you go.
SoundCloud, we didn't say.
And Spotify.
I already said that one.
Just killing it on this one.
Chris is going to get some sleep.
Crushing it. No, I won't. I'll never get sleep. I'm going to go to sleep right now. Actually, we can. We have to get out of here. I called in a bomb threat.
Okay, bye!
She's never going to turn off the camera, is she? We're just going to be wavy like this forever.
Shut the fuck up or she won't let us go.
It's like a weird episode of Black Mirror.
You have to do it right or she won't put the gun away.
Enlarge!
Please stop.
You can't see the surface, so you don't know
You
what
can't
I'm
just
yelling at.
Scream at it. You have to get a surgery for that.
I'm never getting out of here.